the teacher trainers. It was fantastic, ma'am.
It was fantastic. So you enjoyed it?
Yes, ma'am, of course.
Okay. So others, you could connect to me by messaging through chat, saying that your name and where you're from and what you do. So let me check whether I can share my screen. Yes. Okay. You all can see my screen, isn't it? Can you all see my screen?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. So let me do something that I will go back because it's showing my desktop. So I'll go back, I'll put it in a folder. It will be easy for us to. Okay. Hi, Shri M. I don't know the name. Yes, Preeti, Uttar Pradesh. Yes, Yogesh, Nainital, a student, early childhood special educator, Andhra Sri. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for interacting here. We will wait until 7:05 for others to join us. So today's topic, what we are going to cover is about suicide. So I will share with you the definition of WHO, what they say about suicide, and also some facts about suicide. And then we move on to something that is constructive, right? How are we going to connect, communicate, and care for the people with suicidal contemplation? All right. So are you all excited? Do you all have questions for today's session?
I didn't know it's okay. I put my earphone. And then unless you're putting the TV on. Okay.
Yes,
No.
Only Aarti is excited?
Yeah, okay, everybody.
Oh, others are also excited. Yes.
Thank you, dear.
Yeah, okay. So what we will do, I will have a small conversation with Shobhika till 7:05. Okay. So thank you very much, team, for joining. I welcome all of you. I think 7:05. I will start it with introduction. I'll start it with introduction. Now let us discuss some common aspects for 5 minutes. Okay. Then I will do the introduction. Then I will do the introduction, and then we will start. So we have many people who have joined. Mansoor Ali. I think Mansoor Ali, where are you from?
Sir, I'm from Mumbai.
Mansoor Ali from Mumbai. B. Gautam from Nepal. Kratika from Netherlands. Okay. So just let me just tell some of the few of the aspects which has happened in the last 1 week. 3 days before, there was one incident in Chennai. Actually, the father is working as a labor. And the child, his son, is studying in 6th standard. Always he was playing in mobile, so the father shouted at him and he just told, fetched the phone from him and told that, okay, hereafter you will not be using it. Okay. And he has taken the phone. He has taken the phone to to his workplace. When he came evening, actually he saw that his son committed suicide. Now, unable to bear it, the father also committed suicide. Unable to bear the loss, the father also. Now, these all are the aspects. If you see, it is actually increasing in our society. In our society, particularly for reasons which may be simple for others, but for the people who are undergoing, that is the much bigger pain. So this happened just 4 days before it has happened. There are many such incidents is taking place, mainly in today's world. Today is a very important day, the World Mental Health Day. So this is the day in which actually all the people, because whoever has joined here, okay, mental health professionals. We are all mental health professionals. And Ormaiji has joined. Ormaiji, can you come on the video? She is a psychologist, experienced psychologist. I think she is around 60 years old. Ormaiji, daughter of Benefer. I hope daughter of Benefer, Ormaiji. I think if my
Yes, sir.
Hi, Ormaiji, how are you?
I am fine, sir.
Very
Thank
happy.
you, sir. You got a good memory for name.
See, how can I forget you, Ormaiji? See, there are
Yes,
few
yes.
people you can never forget in your life. And Benefer
Thank you, sir.
are such people. Ormaiji is also a psychologist, and her daughter is also a psychologist. She is specialized in play therapy. Achha, very nice. So we have 3 more minutes. Okay, 3 more minutes. So the thing is, if you look at the world at various places, these kind of aspects are growing nowadays. Particularly today, being World Mental Health Day, we are all having a great responsibility. We are all having a responsibility to address this in a very what do you call it? In a constructive way. To address it in a constructive way. Most of the time, people do not know how to respond to things. That is the main reason these kind of things happen. We have 2 more minutes, so I'm just sharing. No, Mudafir, we are going to start only at 19.5. Okay, we are going to start at 7.5. So I will share with you for 2 minutes an incident which has really happened in my life. Actually, I was studying. I was in my 11th standard. Actually, I was walking along with my friends. There were 7 friends. We were walking. Ooty. We were from Ooty. Evening around 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock itself in Ooty, it will become dark. So we were walking. What happened? One boy, he told that, hey, today I'm going to commit suicide. See, we were all very young. See, I was studying in 11th standard. You can just understand the maturity level. Okay. And all the people, they were just like that. So we started just jokingly asking him, oh, yeah, is it? You are going to commit suicide? How you are going to commit suicide? Are you going to take poison? Or see, in those days, we were not knowing the seriousness. Because we were just joking, jolly. Okay. When that guy told, that also was fun for us. Then we all went to home. It happened when I was studying in 11th standard. Okay. Please mute your calls. Then morning we are hearing the news that he committed suicide. And for around 6 to 7 months, I was not able to sleep I was not able to sleep. I was not able to, sometimes I was not able to eat also. Even when I think today, one of the reason I came into this field, psychology field, is this. This is also one of the incidents, because most of the time the people who are nearby, they do not know how to handle it. So thank you, team. Thank you very much for joining. We are having 27 people. Thank you very much. I'm very, very happy to introduce Shobika. Shobika is an international trainer, and she is also a gatekeeper, suicide prevention gatekeeper. Today itself, she has conducted around 3 sessions in Sri Lanka, and she has joined now. One of the aspects with Shobika is the session will be lively. I have attended her session. I have attended her session, and her session, it shows the maturity of the trainer, one, and the great in-depth knowledge the trainer is having on the subject. So I'm very, very happy to welcome Shobika ma'am from Sri Lanka. Also, I welcome all the other people and dignitaries and the people who are going to train from tomorrow. I think we are having Dr. Nivedita also joined, I think. Dr. Nivedita I have seen. Dr. Nivedita, a psychiatrist, and she is also going to address us. Now, over to Shobika ma'am. Thank you very much, Shobika ma'am.
Thank you so much for that lovely introduction, sir. So humbled to be here. And I welcome you all for this class or session today, where we will be knowing about how to connect care with a person who has suicidal thoughts. Okay, I'm going to share the screen.
अरे हम बताएंगे तो पहले ज्वाइन करो, फिर उसके बाद हम बंद कर देंगे.
Please mute your calls. Yes. So, what is suicide? It's a question for you all. What do you all understand about suicide? You can open the mics and answer. Is it possible? You all can unmute and speak.
Suicide happens. Suicide of a person happens because of the subconscious mind making us to do it voluntary and involuntary.
Okay, that sums it. Is there any particular reason, Mudassir?
Okay, well, I believe it's someone tries to take their own lives by their own means, where they think that's there's like suffering is like continuously and something which is trying to relieve themselves, hoping. Yeah, so that's from I'm speaking from simple words, like not a proper definition from a textbook. Yeah.
That's okay. I think simple words makes it much more easier for all of us to understand. So that's very good, Mudassir. Thank you so much. Is there anybody else who would like to talk?
Person who would want to live anymore.
Neelam, I'm sorry. There is a lot of disturbance in your call.
Are you going to log out and log in again?
Yes, please do that. Okay. So suicide prevention, because suicide is a global public health concern. Why does suicide has to be a global public health concern? Why does it has to be a public health concern? Because it is decided by an individual. Why does it has to be a public health concern? I'm looking for replies. I'm looking to, engage with you all so that I also learn and you also learn here.
Because thousands and thousands of people commit suicide in every year.
That is right, Aarti. More than 800,000 people lose their lives to suicide every year. And while we are talking, for each 4 seconds, I think one suicide is happening around the world. So it is definitely a global public health concern. And we all know we recently celebrated World Suicide Prevention Day on the 10th of September. And you all know that the International Association of Suicide Prevention is working tirelessly to find means and measures to stop suicide and to treat people with suicidal tendencies. Okay. Let's move on to the next slide. This is how WHO defines suicide: a process that ends with death, initiated and conducted by the person with the knowledge and expectation of death. So the person already know that the pain in his or her life is so much that is unbearable, and to stop and put an end to that thought process, they want to end their life. So they take suicide as a measure to stop all that pain that they are going through in their life. Anything you would like to add? Sundar Raman, would you like to add anything to that?
Yes, as you said, the factors.
I lost you there.
The main problem is depression. The mental state of depression is they are not able to doesn't function. So they have only thought is, okay, let me commit suicide. I'll get out of this world. I'll get out of this problem. If they are ready to face this problem, they solution for the problem. So when they start finding solutions, I think this word itself will not be there in the world.
That is true. That is true. And that is one of the factors. Like you said, depression, mental health issues is one of the factors. But there are so many factors. And there is always more than one reason for a person to commit suicide. Okay. The process of suicide is the intention to end life. So 100 people, if 100 people intend to end their life and they act on it, for every 25 attempted suicide, one suicide is successful. So that is a global statistics given by IASP to us. So imagine what happens to the attempted suicide. The people who tried, who committed, who want to commit suicide, but we don't use the word commit anymore, who try to end their life. Yet what happened is they were unable to complete that. The process did not end with death. So what happens to them? So that is also something we're going to see throughout this 10 days of program. Risk of suicide. So where is the risk? Where do you think the risk comes from? These are the factors that is contributing to suicidal tendencies or suicidal thoughts, or even to think about that I'm going to go forward with suicide because this life is not worth living for me. These are problems. These problems are too much for me to handle, that I have no other way to go on with this life. I think I can't find any solution for this. So that is the thought process that goes into a mind of a person who is thinking about ending their life. So you see the significant events. What are the significant events?
Relationship breakup, significant relationship.
Yes.
Loss of
Legal
hope and despair.
event, child custody
Yes.
issues.
Yes. Yes.
Past
Go on reading.
family history of suicide, suicide attempt, or recent suicide of a family.
Exactly. So even trauma, even when you are accultured, like a person who lives in a village and he wants to find a job, and he's been taken to a place where he doesn't know about the culture, know about the people. So uprooting somebody from a place and taking them to another place, it is so hard for them to be flexible.
Ma.
Please mute your calls.
Oh, ma.
Somebody is calling for mom.
Which type of sound is it?
Excuse me, ma'am. Can you please kindly mute other participants? There is a lot of noise.
Yeah, you can remove it. Okay, team. There is no need to. 1 minute, Shobika.
Yes.
Shobika, can you just 1 minute remove the slide? One second. 1 second. Yeah. No. Okay. No.
আমি যে এত
There was a noise. Okay, there was a noise.
যাবে জামা কাপড় পরবে
It's
না
coming.
ডাক্তারখানায় যাবো বলেছি কি
There was a noise. Somebody was screaming. Maybe they have kept the mic open. Okay. Immediately, what is that you felt? Okay. Now just go back. Actually, we are all counselors. Counseling is required for us most of the time. Whether I react or respond. See, no one will do this with complete awareness. So someone is doing without awareness. Someone is doing without awareness. And if I start reacting, I am also doing something without awareness. There is no, what do you call, difference between that guy and me. If I start reacting, there is no meaning. There is no difference between him and me because he is also not in awareness and I am also not in awareness. The thing is, certain things, see, sorry to take your time, Shobhika. One of the aspects is Stephen Covey says, a circle of influence and circle of consent. Circle of influence is the things which you can control. Circle of concern is the things which you cannot control. Most of the time suicide happens because we concentrate on the circle of concern. We don't concentrate on the circle of influence. Okay. So even I'm opening the mic now. Okay. And team, please mute your calls. Okay. Shobhika, actually I have made you co-host. You can open the mic. I have closed everyone.
Okay.
When you want, you can just open it. Otherwise, let people raise their hand. You can open the mic. Yeah.
Now I can share, sir.
Yeah. Yes. Please go ahead.
Okay, so we were seeing about the risk of suicide. Who are the people who are at risk of committing or taking their own life? So relationship breakup and significant relationship problem, like what? Can anybody message here? You can actually contact me in the chat itself so that I will read it out. So keep this more interacting so that I also learn from you all. So relationship breakup and significant relationship problem is problem with the mother, problem with the lover, problem with the father, or problem with somebody. Yes, that is right, Shola. Thank you so much. Yes, that is true. And trauma, anything that is sudden and that actually change the course of our life is traumatic event. So trauma is also a risk for suicidal tendency. Impending legal event, a person who is facing a legal thing and he has to visit court and he or she is waiting for the verdict to come and they also go through this. Yes, physical sexual abuse, that's right. That's right. Yes, court issues, coping with stress. There are so many factors. That's why I said there is not a single factor that contribute to a person ending their life, but there are many reasons. Yes. So past history. When we come to past history, family history of suicide or suicide attempt or recent suicide of a friend, how does this affect a person? There is a death in the family by suicide. So how it affects the other people in the family? If it is a significant relationship, if they are very close, like Mr. Shivakumar said, that when he lost his friend, he was unable to eat and sleep. So how much it affected that person? Yes, lack of coping strategy. And there was a documentary in, I think in Discovery about life after suicide, which talks about the family and the friends of those who have lost their loved one to suicide, right? And financial crisis, job loss, employment setback. In Sri Lanka, at the moment, we are going through a very bad financial crisis. So, and we are also seeing a lot of people trying to end their life because we don't see any means to come up with any solution because the country itself is going under a financial crisis. Family conflict or breakdown, if there is a fight between the family members, and chronic pain or illness like cancer, death's burden. Very good, Shola Joy. Alcohol, another intoxication or relapse. And alcohol, another intoxication or alcohol or other drugs that has more effect on suicidal tendency, for which there is a checklist I will be sharing with you all. And also recent discharge from the treatment service. So if a person is affected with mental health illness or getting treated for alcohol or other drugs, getting them discharged from the treatment service also sometimes put them back to the normal environment where they would set out to commit it. Yes. Bipolar, workaholism. Yes. Workaholism resulting in burnout. Burnout is also another cause because the person is unable to bear with the stress at workplace. So we are also talking about how we are going to manage the stress at workplace, how to have a work-life balance where the health psychologists are working on it. So next we move on to warning signs for suicide. So can I have any warning signs for suicide? So the research done by a lot of people who are studying about suicide, it identified the importance of both warning signs and risk factors for suicide when they were conducting suicide risk assessment. So there is for the immediate warning signs are specific to the current state of the person. So that you would have heard some people, they will be the behaviors preparing for it, like writing their will or saying that I'm going to transfer all my money to my mothers or my sisters, and making everything, going and apologizing to people that they have fought with, so that they don't have anything to carry on when they leave the world. Yes, crying, constant crying. And even when you speak with them, you can see tears in their eyes. So a normal person, when you just have a normal conversation, wouldn't do that. But a person who is so stressed and find it hard to cope would be teary-eyed and indicate a high risk in the near term. It could be a day, it could be a minute, it could be hours. Like Mr. Shivakumar said, the friend told him that I'm going to do this, and in the morning, he was no more. So this is immediate warning signs of suicide. It may be immediately apparent at intake or when they are taking for treatment. When a person comes and talks to you about suicide, you might transfer them to a psychiatrist or a psychologist. And if the psychiatrist recommend them for treatment, if they have mental health illness or alcohol dependence, they will refer treatment service. So when they go to treatment also, it could be apparently that they might have the thought and they might even continue with, yes, non-responsive to bullying. That is that they are not able to vent out. They are fully holding it inside their heart and not talking to anybody about what is happening to them, right? And feel helpless. So that also may be leading them to take the decision. Indicates that screening and information gathering regarding suicidal is required. It can be either direct, requiring immediate attention, or indirect, which will be very hard for you to identify. So these things, the immediate warning signs are easy to identify, whereas the later warning signs are not very easy for us to identify. The person may not be talking about it. The person may not be behaving such a way, right? So that time you won't be able to identify it. I'm moving on to the next slide. What are the risk factors? We actually discussed that. Often long-lasting and increased suicide risk over time. That is the people who are in psychiatric diagnosis or who have attempted suicide in the past. And there is a vulnerable population, like I said, a person who is been uprooted from the place where he is and had been put in another place. And the workers who travel from their country to other country, migrant workers, all those people are vulnerable population. Chronic illness, terminal, yes, illness. We discussed about that, like cancer or people in the terminal palliative care as well. So where the pain is so much for them that they cannot continue with life. We are moving on to the next slide. What are the indirect warning signs? It is less easily identified. There are many indirect warning signs that you will not see here. Lack of social contact, very good, Mudassir. Show behavioral change that can't be noticed, yes, out of the ordinary, yet we don't notice it. Because, when the children turn 13, 14-year-old, it is said that they like to stay alone, right? Stay alone, and they don't like the parents to disturb them. Then what happens is we think, okay, this is a normal behavior, but the child could be going through something. An adult could be going through something at the office, but they won't be showing that signs. Yes, not interested in anything, but we don't identify it. Disturbed sleep patterns, yes. How many of us ask our people, home people, did they have a good sleep? How many of us ask? Very good, Gautam. Okay, Yogesh, you sleep for 7 hours, isn't it? Sunday, 8 hours, very good. I see 2 people raising hands. Let me unmute you. Yes, Rifat? Please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am, you were asking about indirect warning signs.
Yes.
The indirect warning signs include all the symptoms of depression, which are a lack of interest, hopelessness, worthlessness. These things can't be identified by another person directly.
Yes.
These things can't be observed directly unless the client reports himself or herself. So,
thank you.
Yes,
Rifat.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Rifat. So like Rifat said, sometimes we see a normal behavior of a child or an adult, and they are like normally not talking to anybody and not sociable, and they do not show much interest in other stuff, but they are going through something. And is it easily identifiable for us when their normal behavior is such, but suddenly they are like that? Are we able to identify it? Will we be able to identify that? What do you think? Sorry, I couldn't see the chats and I don't know how to do that. Give me a moment. Okay. Experience is required. Yes, yes. So, have you ever heard the voices of suicide? How it sounds? Harsh. Okay. Yogesh said it's harsh. Sad. Okay. Starts with rumination and ideation, right? That's right. Sometimes they express their wish. Hysterical. Yes. When the emotions are overwhelming. Cry for help. Sometimes overconfident. Yes. So they have even found out risk-taking behaviors. And in ADHD, we have the hyperactivity. So it's a comorbid condition that could exist with another mental health illness. So that could also drive a person to choose to end their life. So these are the voices of suicide I have personally heard when I used to befriend and counsel. Okay, I don't want to live anymore. Anybody would like to read this? Please raise your hand so that I will. Rifat, you like to read? Manushi. Yes, Manushi, go ahead.
So the voices of suicide. Yes. I don't want to live anymore. I can't stop thinking of suicide, about suicide. I thought of it for years. I have made 3 attempts and I don't know I'll be safe tonight. I drink until I black out. I'm sorry. So I don't think about the problems in my life. Killing myself, I hate thinking about it. Nobody cares about me or loves me. There's no purpose for me to go through all this.
So in your personal life, has anybody come throughout these kind of talk, or have you had a conversation with somebody and they said these words to you? Yes, Irfan, I'm unmuting you. Yes.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Yes, breakdowns are something that I think are quite common. And before starting to study about psychology, psychiatry, and everything, I have faced this drinking issue. I'll drink till I don't black out. And it was one of the worst phases of my life. It was due to a family breakdown, parents dying, and just things which are just not appreciable. But lucky me, I have been a warrior and made it through. And now I'll counsel other people to get away from it because that's not a resolution at all.
Allow me to acknowledge your journey, Irfan. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Thank you. So these are the voices of suicide. Now, we've been talking a lot about suicide and the negative aspects of it, right? So what I'm going to do is we're going to do a grounding and relaxation. All right? So I want you all to sit comfortably with your foot touching the floor and your hands on your thighs. On your thighs. Yes, hands on your thighs. Keep it on your thighs. Close your eyes. Imagine a sea, an ocean, with waves hurtling to the shore. You are the boat in that ocean, and the waves are the problems you face in life. The waves come and goes. The waves comes and goes. But you're still there. You're traveling deep inside the ocean. And you know, deep inside the ocean, there is still water. You're anchoring in the still water. The anchor is the resources that helps you during your stressful period in life. Identify what anchors you. Take a deep breath. And exhale slowly. Inhale gently and slowly, feeling the cold air rushing through your nose, traveling through your windpipe, filling your lungs. And exhale gently and slowly. Observe your body. Notice your emotions. Notice your emotions. Listening to the story of Karan and Kamalini. Karan is a successful IT employee. He did everything as his parents want him to be. He wants to please everybody around him. His life seemed to be full of waves, and it was so hard for him to anchor. Whereas Kamalini, she was able to find work and life balance. That was the anchor. She was able to cope with stressful days. She sought for help. She spoke to her friends when she needed. And she learned to say no when it is necessary. Well, as Karan, he was never been able to say no. Where are you now? Are you in Karan's boat? Are you in Kamalini's boat? Identify what anchors you. Is that the strength that you hold that teaches you the coping skills? Now concentrate on your normal breathing. You're beginning to see lesser waves. Now you can pull your anchor. You're traveling back to the shore, equipped with strength, the resources that you can dive back, that your boat can even travel in waves. You found the resources that could help you to face the waves of problems in your life. You're feeling relaxed. Once again, take a deep breath. Slowly. And exhale slowly. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Gently open your eyes. Gently open your eyes. Now I would like all of you to share what are the emotions you felt and what anchored you. Were you able to identify what anchored you? May I have messages in the chat? What anchored you? What were the strengths you were able to identify? Okay. I felt alone and different world. Yes. Were you all able to find any strength from there? It is different for each person. What anchors us is different for each person. Yes, yourself, Rifat. It is yourself. It's a grounding exercise. This is also a grounding exercise. We use anchor as a medium, just to see whether that anchor is something that roots you to the place when problems arise, right? Waves are like the problems that comes in your life, where you are able to anchor yourself in the still waters and still face the situation around you. Very good. So I felt peace, very calming. Yes, the music is calming, isn't it? Right? Okay. So as you all are calm now, we are moving ahead with active listening tool when we are connecting and communicating with the people or person with suicidal thoughts, okay? Or suicidal tendency. So we're going to move. Okay. Encouraging words. Why do we have to use encouraging words with empathy? What do persons with suicidal thoughts need? Do they need your judgment? Yes. You can say you are the best. Do they need judgment? Yes. What do they need is respect. The first thing is respect. That they know that you are actively listening to them, that you are there. Actually, they don't even need your support. They want you to listen and respect them for who they are and what they are sharing. Okay? Care, understanding, respect, and acceptance with empathy. Have you heard people saying, what is this problem? There are so many problems happening in the world. Is this a problem? It's just a tiny thing, right? Can't you deal with it? Have you heard people saying that? When a person, I have personally had a client who lost their pet, who lost her dog. She was shattered because for her, her pet was the only friend. So we need to understand and respect that what position our client was with the deceased one or with the lost loved one or with whatever they have lost in their life or going through. So no problem is small problem when it comes to our client, isn't it? Yes, with stress and anxiety, even small problems looks very big. For this client was living away from her parents. The parents were somewhere abroad and this girl has to take care of her sister. And because she speaks Italian, she didn't know our language, so she didn't have much friends. So the dog was her only friend. And when she lost the dog, she says that when I go home, he's the one who greets me. I talk to him. He is so patient that whatever I tell him, he listens to me. So when you lose someone like that, even if it is a dog or a cat or a fish, it is very important to that particular person, isn't it? Yes, grief over a pet is real, no issue, or yes, no issue is trivial. But I have seen people telling that, it's just a dog, it's just a cat, it's okay. You can get one more, but for that person, that dog means the world. So we need to respect. The first thing is to respect. So how do we use encouraging words? I would like somebody to read this. You can raise your hands. Yes, Preeti, you can read this. Yeah.
Encouraging words, empathy. It's okay. We can discuss this at your own pace. Take your time. If you feel like crying, please do. It could make you feel better. It is a sign that your emotions are overwhelm. It helps you to calm and relax. So go ahead and pour your tears out. Using short words and responses encourages your client to talk more and vent out.
Very good. So we can use short words as well. And please do not tell them not to cry. Okay? Because like Rifat said, we cannot invalidate their emotions. If they want to cry, please allow them, because most of them hold their tears. Why do they hold their tears? Because of the societal norm that crying is for weak people, but it is not. You should have the strength. You had to be strong to cry in front of others. I feel that way. I don't know about you guys, but I feel that way. And I always encourage my clients to cry and keep the tissue box next to them. Please go ahead and cry. Yes, they don't like sympathy. That is empathy. That is why we use these words, right? We can't say, oh, don't cry. It is like this. And oh, I feel so sorry for you. Do we say, I feel so sorry for you? Yes, that is what I mean. Boys can also cry. Boys do cry. A knife can cut the female and male, isn't it? The pain is the same for us. Empathy rules, that's right. So being able to understand the depth of another person's feelings and the ability to communicate that understanding to other person is very, very important. So encouraging words, you know what to say, when to say. Gender does not decide pain. That's right, Rifat. Thank you for putting that on. Okay, next is responding or empathic listening. Can anybody read this? I saw a few hands on. Yes, Sabrina. Sabrina, go ahead. I unmuted. Asked. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Responding, empathic listening. I'm glad you told me. How can I help? Tell me more. Let me support you. That must have been terrible for you. Those words must have been so hurtful. Is it okay if I find any professional help with your feeling? Demonstrating how empathic you are helps the client to understand it is normal to react and feel as they are at that moment.
Thank you, Sabrina. Thank you so much. So we are talking a lot about empathy. Do we know what is empathy? Is it just understanding? Or is it just listening or actively listening? Yeah. I would like to see the chat box full with the reply. So I would say the action of understanding, being aware of, being sensitive to, and vicariously experiencing the feeling. Like, I can't say I'm walking in her shoes, but I am able to understand how that shoes fits for her or him, right? So being aware of and experience of another person's of either the past or present without having the feelings, thoughts, and experience fully communicated in an objectively explicit manner. Though your client is unable to say it with words, you are able to understand through their body language, right? Non-verbal cues, being alongside the person, right? So there is a difference between sympathy and empathy. Sympathy is focusing on sharing a person's bad news or feeling sorry for the person suffering. The bad news for the bad news or feeling, isn't it? Like if they say, I lost someone, I feel so sorry for you, right? Whereas empathy focuses on sharing a person's bad and good feelings and understanding the bad or good feeling and communicating it rather than feeling sorry. Where in sympathy, we feel sorry for the person for the bad news. But in empathy, we say, I'm happy for you. You did that, I'm glad. Or is it, I think it must have been hurtful to you. like that. So that is empathy. So we are moving on to the next. Any questions regarding this, empathy and sympathy? And I would like somebody to read this as well. Open questions. Rifat. Okay. Can I give chance to Rifat? Okay, Rifat.
Yeah.
Open questions.
Yeah. How are you feeling at the moment? Could you tell me more about your feelings as how you felt during that situation? Is it the same now? How, what, and when encourages the client to expand on what they are telling.
Yes. So when your client is talking to you and you actually can ask them, was it the same way they felt during the situation, whatever that happened? And is it the same way they feel now? So then you can understand the gravity of emotion and feeling, what has pushed them to come needing help or support. Okay. And also share your experiences, not opinions. They don't want your opinion, but you can share your experience, saying that after they complete talking to you, after they finish saying everything about them, then you can actually share your experience by sharing with them a similar thing you had in your life or you have come across to empower them. So that is why we say sharing stories is very important. Self-disclosure, right? Maybe it could have happened to you, maybe it could have happened to your friend, but they came out of it successfully. Though they had a schedule, a time, the time frame, they suffered a lot, but they somehow came out of it. So that could empower your client to have a hope about the future. So sometimes personal experiences which we share empowers many to pause and think whether it's worth the try to end one's own life. So sometimes when you share the story, they could actually link with that or associate with that. And they would say, oh, wow, this person had come out through that. I can as well. Yes, we can ask. Yes, you are drunk at that time. Definitely, because intoxication can also lead to overwhelming perceivance of emotions, isn't it? Will we get handouts? Those will be helpful. Yes, I will share with the IMOCAT team and they will send it to you as well. So sometimes unkind observed statement, you heard about a person who lost their life by suicide. Have you guys heard about somebody commenting on it? Have you heard anybody giving an unkind or absurd statement? Oh, this person died by suicide. Have you heard? Yes. How did that hurt you, Rifat? Yes. How did that hurt you all? Yes. So it hurts us that we don't want to share our story with anybody, isn't it? We feel, yes, humiliated, disgraceful. Sometimes it's disgusting that people do not understand the gravity or impact of the feelings a person is going through, right? So we are moving on to the next. It's unbearable. Thank you all for sharing. Sabrina, may I talk to you later about this? Would you like to share with me after the class is over? Don't understand the pressure of mind, right? So now we are moving on to clarifying. So when your client is speaking to you and you are not sure about what the client is actually trying to tell, always try to clarify, okay? And that will allow them to share more about them. So anybody likes to read this? Apart from Rifat, Sabrina, and Irfan, anyone else? Yes, Aarti. Aarti, you can.
Yes, clarifying. What do you mean when you say you want to end it all and all public vanish? Encouraging clients to introspect their own feelings. Do you mean that you feel like ending your life? Helps to control, comfort, helps to confront powerful feelings and clarify the meaning of their words.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Aarti. Yes. So sometimes we feel like, no, we shouldn't ask them directly, but sometimes asking directly helps them to pour out more about what they are feeling, right? So encouraging clients to introspect their own feelings. Like if they say, I think I should move away from here. Nobody seems to love me, so I'm going to end my life. Or I don't feel if this is all worth it. Because for me, one client was coming and telling me, what's the point? This is a client who was drinking until he blacked out, and he went through a stroke as well. He did not have support because he was in the US, and then he has to come back to the country after getting treated. And he was telling, even I'm befriending now, and he says, what's the point? I don't have a purpose. I don't have a purpose in my life to go on living. So sometimes we are stuck there. How to find the purpose, how to encourage him or empower him to see something out of life. So just clarifying this, what do you mean by it? Do you want to end your life? Then they would be more precise about what their feelings are and what they would like to do. And here comes motivational interviewing. I think Mr. Shivakumar did motivational interviewing. So you can find out what motivates them, and you can go ahead with motivational interviewing and find the things that motivates them. So we are moving on to the next. I'm not a techie, so I'm not able to move like this. Okay, refocusing. Can anybody read this about refocusing? Yes, Preeti, please go ahead.
Refocusing. You spoke in the beginning about how hurt you felt. How are you feeling now? Giving opportunity to explore strong emotions shared earlier with the current feeling.
Okay. So after you counsel and befriend, you wanted to see whether your client is feeling the same way. When they walked in, they must have been very anxious, nervous. But maybe after they spoke to you, they seem to have calmed down, and they might have a clarity in their mind, like, okay, maybe, because sometimes when we explore the options in their life, they would see a way out. So ask them whether they feel the same way or much more calmer than before, right? It is to transfer them to a professional help. So that also would help you to identify whether this person is still distressed and he needs professional help. Okay. So next is summarizing. Summarizing. So you feel frustrated about this is about talking to who can read this? Sorry, Neeta Singh. Can you go ahead? Thank you, Preeti. Sorry, I didn't say thank you to you.
Summarizing. So you feel frustrated about your exam results and angry at yourself and others. Presenting the strong emotion shared earlier by the client, and this helps the client to see a clear picture to relate to their experience.
Yes. So do you understand what, when we summarize, we are able to get a clear picture about what the client is actually meaning. So we don't need to give a meaning for it, and we can find out this is what the client means, right? Is this clear? Okay, then I go ahead. So this is just, I want you all to read and understand this. May I read it or somebody will read it, whether it will be clear? So let me go ahead. In despair, dangerous behaviors are experienced where they don't know what to do with their thoughts. Oh, 3 participants raised hand. Okay, let me unmute. Who wants to read it? Anyone new? Okay, Irfan, you can go ahead. Sorry, guys.
In despair, dangerous behavior. May I?
Yes.
In despair, dangerous behaviors are experienced where they don't know what to do with their thoughts. Spending each minute becomes a dangerous journey when negative emotions are strong. New skills can be taught and acquired to manage such strong negative feelings. changing the thoughts and managing negative emotions effectively. Practice paying attention and changing these dysfunctional thoughts. After feeling more hopeful, clients are empowered to develop new skills to manage these thoughts. Practice ways to effectively and quickly respond to such thoughts return. Negative behaviors targeted, treated, and changed to functional. Thank you.
So as a counselor or a mental health professional, thank you, Irfan, our job doesn't end there. Just talking and leaving them, that is not our job. We have to do more than that. So we need to teach our clients how to manage the negative thoughts or negative emotions that comes when they are alone, or when they can't get help, or when they can't reach out to somebody. So through this, we can actually empower a client to deal with their problems by themselves. So this comes with a lot of practice, and sometimes the clients will do the homeworks you give and sometimes they would not do. So you have to encourage them, keep in touch with them, follow up, right? So that by following up, you know what they do. Ask about their mood, ask about their emotions, give them some cognitive behavior therapy, cognitive conceptualization, where they will be able to set a goal and move towards it. It is not easy. Relapsing is very easy for people with suicidal thoughts and who have attempted suicide. But it is with your support and help and with the family support, it is possible to get them out of the danger zone. Okay. Okay. So these are the skills learned by our clients when they are not in distress, right? Relaxation, mindfulness, and distraction techniques. This would help them. Yes, we have to try to foster hope. That's right, Rifat. So people are educated and trained to take care of themselves during the worst period through this technique suited to each individual. Mindfulness will not work for one client, right? But relaxation would work for that client. So there are different techniques that you need to identify which works for your client better. And when you educate them and you train them well, they don't need to be depending upon someone. So the basic thing for a psychologist or counselor is to make them independent, to function self, isn't it? Yes, letting them doing gardening, art therapies there, creative therapies there. There are so many things that you can apply to a client with suicidal tendencies, right? So go ahead and apply and see. It's all learning. Best tool to support is knowing how to respond, knowing what to ask, knowing when to take action. So listen continuously and care. Yes, self-care is very important. That is also you need to teach them by setting clear goals. So you are not setting the goal. Your client is the one who is going to set the goals. You are going to explore what are the goals that is available for your clients. See the client's lifestyle. Okay, where do they come from? What kind of a home they are in? Everything you need to explore and find the best option that he is ready to follow. He or she is ready to follow. So limited access to material and ways of ending one's life. So when your client is in imminent danger, what you have to do is limit them, the materials that they can use to hurt themselves. Okay, medications. When they are going to get medication, you have to tell them or you have to educate them. Actually in Sri Lanka, the pharmacists are educated not to give more medicines. They have to ask questions. Okay, if you're buying like 20 Panadols, why it is needed? You can have 5 for this week, like that. Okay, they are asked to question. Writing therapy, psychiatric consult. Yes, psychiatric consultation is also necessary. That will be covered by others. Doctors will also be taking this class for you in the coming days. So they will be covering all these things. Limited access to poisonous substances and weapons, because easily reachable things are available now. So what people will do, if you have something available at your home, I think in the early 90s, in Sri Lanka, there were a lot of farmers were committing suicide, were actually ending their life. To see, for them, the fertilizers and the pesticides were easily available. So to limit that is very important. That is why you need to make the mental state examination as well as case history taking, right? About the family, you should know where do they come from and everything. Any questions about this? Yes. Yogesh, you are writing about the support. We have, yes, Mudassir. Should I unmute you? I couldn't see you here. Okay. Yes.
Ma'am, my question is, there are times where you can simply refer to a counselor, and there are times you can refer to social work or someone else. But when do we know the actual time that now the person requires hospitalization or to go to a psychiatric unit, or where to who? Because I think in certain situations, the line must have been, the line must be drawn to know like where and when to be handled by such and such a person. So I need your guidance on that part. Yeah.
While we refocus, we were discussing on refocusing. So we are talking to the client about how do they feel now? Do they feel the same way? So you will actually hear from your clients, yes, I feel the same way. So those are the clients. You are not actually referring them. Shivakumar, he actually gave a one word that you are actually transferring them to professional help, where you will be the figure to give them to a person, a professional who would take care of them from then onwards. So you will also have to find a family member or a friend who will be supportive at that point, so that that person can take from their own words, right?
Okay, but what about,
mental health issues? Yes, when is the right time? That you will know when you talk to them, right? If they say, yes, I'm still feeling the same, I don't see a way out. So would you allow him to come for the next session, or would you transfer him to a professional?
Yeah, that's my actual question. Yeah. So my thing,
Yes.
okay, when do they actually require to send for hospitalization? Yeah.
I will answer it because
okay, all right.
The time.
The time
okay,
is
fine.
I will share with you guys the PPT as well. So this is the long-term support, how you're going to support your client for a long time. So to develop better positive coping skills that you can teach them, and build resilience through emotional intelligence, teaching them appropriate emotional experiences and expressions. Encourage positive communication. So it's not all about always negative. So tell them how to positively communicate with people around them. Normalize seeking support and guidance. Do not judge, do not disrespect them. So normalize it. Yes, of course, you're feeling like this. You can go and meet a professional, or you can go and talk to a counselor, right? And ensure confidentiality and anonymity. This is a very, very important thing. As counselors, we might hold confidentiality. We are not supposed to share what the client shared with you, because it is very important to them, and they don't go to anybody and share, right? They trust you, so keep the trust. Include other people to help with safety plan. This is where the transference comes. When you're taking your client to a professional, you should make sure there is somebody from the family or friend to help them, to take them to that particular professional place. So example, you are telling him to go to a psychiatrist. You can't just write a letter and give them. And we also have to have a network as counselors, psychological counselors or counseling psychologists. We should have a network of people around us. A speech therapist, speech pathologist, psychiatrist, psychologist, everybody as a network. So you can call that person and tell, okay, I'm sending this client of mine with their brother, sister, or a friend. All right. So this is it for today. I hope you all enjoyed the class and you learned something, and I'm going to share the PPT with you, and also a tutor for your information with all the active listening tools and how to respond as well.
Thank you very much.
So I'm done. Thank you all so much. And thank you so much. I'm humbled for giving me this opportunity to talk to them.
You are so wonderful, Shobhika. Actually, I would like to sit for some time to learn few aspects on having the interactional session. So it was absolutely a wonderful program. Actually, Mudassar has asked a question. Tomorrow I will give a practical example, because at present I am dealing with 3 clients. One client, actually I have not referred them to psychiatrist. Why that I didn't refer? What is that? Why that I came to the conclusion, here there is no need to refer to the psychiatrist. Why that I came to the conclusion? Okay. So what are the tests? Even orally when we talk, okay, what are the aspects, different aspects we should consider? Suppose if we take a decision, because when you take a decision, you are responsible for it. Here, that is what very, very important. You are responsible for the future recurrences. So when we take the decision, because mostly 95% to be referred to the psychiatrist. What are the circumstances in which, as a psychologist, you can proceed with counseling? That with a practical aspect, I will discuss tomorrow. Thank you very much, team. Hope today celebration of mental health, World Mental Health Day. We are having some 100 questions quiz. Whoever scores more, okay, they will be getting 6 awards. Okay, it is completely what do you call? There is no human intervention. Completely computer aspect. Hope everybody has registered. If you have not registered, just see your group, Suicide Prevention Paid Group. In that group itself, the link is there. Kindly join. We will be sharing the quiz at 9:20. 9:20 or 9:25, we will be sharing. 25 minutes time for the quiz. After 25 minutes, immediately we will share the results on online itself. We will be sharing, and whoever scores the top 6, they will be honored today by the people. Okay, by the people. If you have not joined so far, kindly join it. If the Zoom is full, kindly join it in YouTube. In YouTube also it will be there. Kindly join. Thank you very much, team. Bye bye.